Have you ever found yourself suddenly in the middle of a conversation when words escaped you? That sudden void where your mind shuts its doors without warning? Believe me, this isn't because you're boring or lack social intelligence, quite the opposite. You possess a treasure trove of thoughts, but they're hidden behind an internal filter working silently in the background. This filter prevents you from voicing what you're thinking. It makes your brain generate dozens of responses only to cancel them before a single word is uttered. Every time you tell yourself, "This is trivial" or "no one will care," you reinforce that filter's power and give it greater control over your expression. The more you strive for the perfect sentence, the more you shrink the space your thoughts can move in. The issue isn't a scarcity of ideas, but an abundance of them and the unconscious barriers you impose on yourself. Imagine someone tells you, "I just got back from vacation." In that moment, your mind ignites a flood of thoughts. Where did they go? Was the trip fun? Maybe their skin color changed from the sun. But before you choose one of these thoughts, the filter intervenes. Don't ask about their skin tone, that might seem silly. Don't joke now, you might be misunderstood. And in the blink of an eye, the screen goes dark, not because you have nothing to say, but because you're afraid to say what you shouldn't. Recognizing this mechanism is the first step to freeing yourself from those heavy moments of silence that steal your presence in conversations. 1. The 3-second rule. What if the solution to your silence were incredibly simple? Just say the first thing that comes to mind within 3 seconds. That's the essence of this principle. Stop overthinking. Once you exceed this brief window, your conscious mind starts activating filters. Instead of saying something simple and spontaneous, you begin interrogating yourself. This doesn't mean speaking without thinking. Your social awareness remains your guide, but it means trusting that your first thought is often good enough to start with. Many of us treat everyday conversations as high-stakes tests where mistakes are intolerable. We fear saying something that might be held against us, but in reality, spontaneity is the key. For example, when someone tells you they love dogs, an automatic comment might pop into your head. "What breed?" Or "My neighbor has a dog that won't stop barking." Don't try to analyze which is better, just pick one and start with it. Maybe the conversation about the noisy dog leads to a discussion about suburban life, noise problems, or even funny daily anecdotes. This opens doors to conversations you'd never have entered if you'd waited for the perfect moment. This simple exercise liberates you from the constant anxiety of saying the right thing. And suddenly you find yourself engaged in richer, more diverse conversations. Think of your closest friends, how you don't overthink before speaking with them, how the conversation flows effortlessly without pretense. That spontaneity, that feeling of freedom is what you need to bring to your conversations with others. 3 seconds, that's all. Let the rest flow naturally. 2. Curiosity is your secret weapon in conversation. If you asked me what golden skill prevents conversations from dying, I wouldn't say intelligence or wit, I'd say curiosity. Genuine curiosity is what keeps a conversation alive and continuous. Those who always seem to have something to say don't possess a magical secret, they're simply genuinely interested in the person in front of them. Curiosity makes you ask questions, notice details, and makes the other person feel that their presence matters, that someone sees them as worth discovering. But the secret isn't pretending to be interested, it's actively searching for that unique part in every person. Every person you meet is a world of stories and experiences you've never heard before. When you momentarily forget about how you appear or what you should say and transform into someone searching for something beautiful in the other person, the interaction becomes more human. For example, when someone tells you about their job, don't stop at the traditional question, "What do you do?" Instead, delve deeper. What's the most fascinating part of this job? Or how has your perspective on it changed since you started? These questions aren't rehearsed. They stem from genuine curiosity, from a desire to understand. People never forget those who made them feel visible. Curiosity is your key to this impact. Think of the last time someone spoke to you with genuine curiosity. How did it feel? Wasn't it beautiful to have someone truly interested in you? This is the gift you can give others in every conversation if you choose to be interested rather than interesting. 3. The art of follow-up questions, the secret to deep conversation. Have you ever wondered how some people seem capable of managing wonderful conversations with anyone? The secret isn't in how much they say, but in their skill at asking follow-up questions that keep the conversation alive and flowing. This seemingly simple skill is actually one of the most powerful communication tools. It makes the other person feel heard and important, transforming the exchange from mere words into an honest, rich dialogue. Imagine you're talking to someone who says, "I just got back from Italy." Instead of the typical response, "How was it?" you could ask, "Which city did you love the most?" Then follow up with, "What drew you to it?" The architecture, the atmosphere. Step by step, you uncover an entire world behind a single sentence. Each follow-up question reveals a deeper layer and shows your real interest, making the difference between a superficial chat and one that leaves a lasting impression. Strangely, we've all experienced those conversations that feel like cold interrogations, where someone asks you something and then rambles on about themselves without returning to you or showing the slightest curiosity about what you said. Don't be that person. Follow-up questions don't just keep the conversation enjoyable, they also relieve you of the burden of leading the entire discussion. They shift the conversation's focus to the other person and give you moments of respite without seeming disinterested. It's a smart, likable way to build a real connection and show that you're truly listening, not just waiting for your turn to speak. Chapter 4. Topic branching, the narrative spark. Sometimes all you need to keep a conversation flowing is to view each sentence as a map full of potential paths. The art of topic branching is this magical ability to see the different threads in every spoken phrase. It's what makes the person you're talking to feel their words matter, because you pick up on the nuances and give every detail a chance to branch out and grow. Imagine someone says, "I was on a mountain climbing trip in Colorado with my brother, even though the weather was terrible." In this single sentence, there are at least 5 directions you could take. The climbing experience, details about Colorado, the relationship with the brother, the challenge posed by the weather, or even the topic of travel itself. Each of these is a potential path for a new conversation. This isn't just a mental exercise, it's a way to keep the conversation natural without feeling strained or empty. Try listening this way in your next conversations. Notice how many possible paths each statement opens up. Someone says, "I'm working on a difficult web project because the client keeps changing their mind." You could ask about the project itself, the client, the challenges of freelancing, or how they handle pressure. Dozens of questions emerge simply because you paused for a moment and listened with curiosity. Topic branching protects you from those silent moments where you feel lost and gives you a constant sense that you have plenty to say. Over time, you'll find that even the simplest conversation can turn into an adventure full of discoveries, if only you know where to start. Chapter 5: Balancing Depth and Lightness, the Secret to Captivating Dialogues. Great conversations are like great films. They're not serious all the time, nor are they meaningless fluff. They have depth that touches the soul and lightness that brings laughter. This balance is what draws people to you because they feel you give them room to breathe without losing substance. Some tend to dive deep into emotions and thoughts from the start, which can create uncomfortable tension. Others keep the conversation surface level, afraid of weighing down the mood. But the result is often a conversation that fizzles out after minutes. The secret lies in smooth transitions between the two, adapting to the conversation's rhythm. Start with lightness to make the other person comfortable, then move deeper when you sense openness. And when the conversation becomes intense or charged, gently steer it toward calmer topics without losing genuine connection. For example, after a serious discussion about work challenges, you could lighten the mood by commenting on a funny work-related video you saw recently. These transitions don't disrupt the conversation, they enrich it. Or if you start talking about a popular TV show, you might pose a deeper question. Do you think the entertainment we consume reflects our inner thoughts? This way, even the simplest topics can reveal something about the person in front of you. In today's world where superficiality dominates conversations, balancing depth and lightness becomes a rare art. One that doesn't just make your dialogues enjoyable, but deeply human. The person who masters this balance is the one we remember, the one we always return to because they give us the feeling of seeing a real face in a sea of masks. 6. Recovery strategies when your mind goes blank. Even if you master all conversation skills in the world, you'll still face moments when your mind freezes suddenly, as if emptiness has replaced words. Don't worry, this is completely normal. The difference now is that you have instant rescue plans that give you a mental compass, bringing you back to the conversation within seconds. When you feel panic or anxiety about being left hanging in awkward silence, these strategies don't require genius or on-the-spot creativity. They rely on simple tools drawn from the moment itself, the surrounding environment, details already mentioned, or even mild curiosity guiding you step by step to regain conversational flow. Just remember, you're not alone. Even seasoned talk show hosts experience moments of silent awkwardness, but they excel at smooth recovery. One of the smartest tricks is the environmental scan technique. You might simply say, "The lighting in this place is really soothing," or "Have you noticed the artistic touch in this cafe's decor?" Alternatively, you can use the curious callback. Revisit a detail the other person mentioned earlier and comment on it. For example, you mentioned you grew up in Egypt. What was that experience like? This way, you don't need to invent a new topic from scratch. You restart the conversation using what's already been said. These methods are like emotional safety nets, allowing you to navigate conversations with confidence and ease no matter what happens. 7. The Conversation Emergency Kit. Every skilled conversationalist has a small secret you don't see, a mental emergency kit. No, it's not a trick or a gimmick, it's a smart tool that prepares you for sudden silences. This emergency kit doesn't need to be extensive, just a set of versatile topics and questions suitable for almost any situation. Think of it as a social toolbox. Instead of asking, "What do you do?" try, "What's been occupying your mind lately?" Instead of, "Seen any good movies?" ask, "What show have you watched recently that felt truly worth your time?" These questions ignite conversation because they invite personal sharing without being intrusive. Memorize 5 to 7 of these questions and revisit them occasionally. When you have this kit, the fear of silence disappears because you know there's always something to say. 8. Self-disclosure. Creating deep connection conversations that linger in memory aren't those filled with the most words, they're the ones that touch us inwardly. The fastest path to this is strategic self-disclosure. When you dare to share a small piece of your truth, you give the other person permission to do the same, and that's where real connection is born. But disclosure doesn't mean dumping all your secrets at once. Start lightly. From facts to opinions to feelings. For example, fact: I'm from Saudi Arabia. Opinion: I love it, but I don't think I could live there again. Feeling: leaving was painful for me for a long time. This progression makes disclosure feel natural and helps the other person feel safe enough to meet you at the same depth. Don't just say you loved a movie, add a human touch. It reminded me of my relationship with my sister. We had a similar rivalry. This way, you don't seem like a stranger talking, but a real person with stories behind your words. In a world flooded with quick messages and canned responses, self-disclosure is the bridge that restores the depth of connection we all crave. 9. The perfect exit: ending conversations. Gracefully ending a conversation may seem like a minor detail, but it's actually an art form in itself. A graceful exit is just as important as a strong start. It leaves the final impression. The problem is, many don't know how to close a conversation without awkwardness or seeming like they're running away. The perfect exit has 3 steps. Positive affirmation. Show appreciation. I really enjoyed hearing your thoughts on your new project. Genuine reason. Explain why you're ending it. I need to catch a meeting soon. Future bridge. Keep the door open. Let's continue this another time. Send me a link to your work. This way, the other person doesn't feel abruptly cut off. They feel you've ended things professionally yet warmly. This small skill transforms your interactions in every context, from work to social events to spontaneous encounters. It's the closing note that completes the symphony of dialogue. Finally, now you see. Your silence wasn't a lack of ideas, but an overactive filter. You've learned to break hesitation with the 3-second rule. Fuel talks with genuine curiosity. Use follow-up questions to dive deeper. Spot topic branches to keep conversations fresh. Balance depth and lightness like a pro. Recover gracefully from mental freezes. Keep an emergency conversation kit. Disclose strategically to build connection. Exit conversations with finesse. These skills don't just make you a better speaker, they give you new power in the world of communication. You no longer fear emptiness, silence, or forgetfulness. Instead, you see every conversation as an opportunity for exploration, connection, and leaving a mark. Start now. Speak up. Ask questions. Share a small piece of yourself. I promise conversations will never be the same. You'll forge deeper, more human, and far more beautiful connections than you ever imagined. Until next time, stay strong, stay wise, and above all, stay true to yourself.